Hey everybody, Repel here, and we have Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle number 9 today. Today I'm going to use the same team that I brought in my last video, simply because they did so damn well. And today we're up against opponent Jay. Now Jay has one hell of a team too. If you take a look, his first two Pokemon, Incineroar and Vikavolt. Okay, one word right there, power. Just sheer power. But he doesn't just have pure power, he has quite a lot of heavy walls as well. He has a Toxapex and Clefable, which will act as a good wall, which honestly I find his team very balanced. So we should learn a few things from Jay's team. So we are challenged by Jay with his fancy pose and fancy shades. He's going to lead off with the Incineroar, and I let off with the Mamoswine. Now my Mamoswine is weak to fire. However, I do outspeed this Incineroar. But turns out he does go straight for the fake out, and it actually does a good amount. But that's because this Incineroar is carrying the Life Orb. So after that fake out, I got a little pissed. I didn't even go for Stealth Rocks anymore, and not to mention, I'm a little scared that he might just kill me with a Flare Blitz instead. So I'm gonna hit him up with an Earthquake. But Jay knows better than that. He could just go into his Vikavolt, but instead he chooses to go into his Mudsdale, which is really brave, simply because Mudsdale is weak to ice. But we did get to see that he did activate his stamina, so his defense was boosted. So actually I don't think my Icicle Crash can kill from this range. I didn't care, I just went for Stealth Rocks. Like, he could go for Close Combat or Heavy Slam, but turns out he actually has Rest. So we already know this is more of like a defensive kind of set, which is really cool. But because we see Rest, there's most likely that he just only has 3 attacking moves instead. A little bit soon for him to go for Rest and eat that Chestaware, but you know what, my opponent can do whatever he wants. Now I'm expecting either a Heavy Slam or Close Combat. I'm gonna go into Slowbro, that'll eat up either of them. Turns out he just went for the Earthquake. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Either way though, I don't think it was wise for me to stay in with my Mamoswine, simply because none of my Mamoswine's attacks can OHKO this Mudsdale, because my opponent's Mudsdale's defense was risen by 1 stage. However, I could go for Scald and just try to burn almost anything, except for this Clefable. Clefable actually would not mind getting burned, simply because Clefable does have the Magic Guard ability. Speaking of Magic Guard ability, I kind of have something on my own too. I have my Komala, which has Comatose. So I guess that's kind of cool, you know, we see Magic Guard, like Clefables and even Reuniclus absorbing any status moves. But I'm actually going to go into my Komala expecting either maybe like a Toxic or Thunder Wave. Usually Clefables do run either of those, but it turns out he actually goes for a Psychic. I could see why he would go for a Psychic, because he's probably really fearing my Salazzle. And obviously Salazzle is resistant to Moonblast 4 times. I didn't really care though, I'm actually just going to stay in and just like toss up a Wish, honestly. It's better than nothing. This Clefable can't really do too much to me, so my opponent has realized that. And now he sends out the Decidueye named Nightwing. Gets hurt by rocks, which is sweet. I actually just throw up a Wish right here. Now this Decidueye is probably going to do one thing and one thing next turn. He'll probably go for the Defog, because I did set up Stealth Rocks. So I could actually use this as my advantage and just hit him up with a free Toxic. As a matter of fact, my opponent does go for that Defog. It dropped my evasiveness, not that it really matters. But thankfully, my Toxic does land. In this battle, you guys are going to see a lot of statuses. There's going to be a lot of Poison, there's going to be a lot of Burn, and there's going to be a lot of Paralysis. That is why I do have a comment question a day for my viewers, yes, you sitting there right now. My comment question a day is, what is your favorite status when you use in Pokemon battling? Do you like Poison? Do you like Paralysis? Do you like Burn? Or do you like to put your foes to sleep? Please answer in the comment section. Do it. Do it now. You can pause the video and answer it, or you don't have to pause it. Either way, it doesn't matter. We're gonna go back to this video now. I did go for that Wish, and I'm expecting my opponent to go for Toxic Spikes. I'm really expecting it. However, he actually just goes for a Scald. I'm like, alright, that's fine. I could live one, and I do have Wish. But my opponent gets that nice Lucky Burn in 1 turn. And that just completely makes my Mamoswine completely useless. I was so scared that he would get burned, and he did. I'm so sad, honestly. He could have went for the Scald and not get a burn, but no, he had to. That's okay though. My whole plan was to expect him to go for Toxic Spikes, but now, since my attack is so low, there's really no point but just go for Stealth Fox again. And not to mention, my Mamoswine is kinda dead. Like, I don't really see any use in my Mamoswine anymore, except my Mamoswine does have the electric immunity, and we do see that my opponent does have the Vikavolt. So I could always save my Mamoswine later, if I want to. I'm gonna go back into, yes, my Komala, expecting Moonblast, Psychic, anything, honestly. He does go for Psychic again. My opponent is overpredicting just a little. Not that a Moonblast would do that much either way. A Stab Moonblast will still maybe just do like 30%. So, that is just how impressive Komala is, honestly. And what trips me out is I always see Komala holding that piece of log, but I'm not really sure what it is, you know? He doesn't use it in the fight. Anyway, I'm gonna go Salazzle now, expecting the Wish, so I can Encore him. So he does go for the Wish. I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna definitely Encore him and trap him, but then I think my opponent probably knows that, so he'll probably switch out into Toxapex. And I know that I could probably at least do some damage to Toxapex, however, he actually stays in. I'm like, what the heck? That is so weird. Really, really, really weird. I did not expect my opponent to stay in. Because some Toxapex, maybe not, I mean, some Salazzles, and maybe not all Salazzles, do run Wish. I could have definitely trapped him into Wish, and that would absolutely make him useless. But he did go for a T-Wave now, and there's a good chance he will outspeed me, and then he will kill me with a Psychic, or very close to hit KO me. Doesn't quite matter because I'm slower, so 2-hit KO, 1-hit KO, I should switch out. But he will actually go into his own Toxapex right here, absorb any potential Sludge Bombs or Flamethrower. I really didn't care though, I was just like, let's just do how much I can do. I do get a nice poison on Toxapex. Yes, you guys are seeing it. You guys are first seeing Toxapex being poisoned. That is because Salazzle does have that corrosion ability. And what corrosion ability does is that it can inflict poison status on even steel and poison types. So that's really cool. But I don't want to get hit by super effective Scald. I am a fire type after all, and I'm going to go back into my Comatose Komala. And he does go for these Toxic Spikes. But that is also okay because I do have Rapid Spin on my Komala. Speaking of which, I actually have 2 Rapid Spinners and Defoggers in this team. I have the Komala, which needs Rapid Spin, and I have the Dartrix, which needs Defog. So I don't think my opponent's hazards are going to succeed anytime soon, honestly. And this poison damage is doing quite a lot. However, we do know that usually, right, Toxapex usually have some sort of healing move, like Recover. I spoke too soon, he does go straight for the Recover, but honestly, it's not really wise for him to stay in so much. Number 1, I also have Wish, so he can't really do too much to me. And number 2, he cannot burn me with a Scald simply because I do have Comatose, and I cannot get burns. And you guys will see that my opponent actually just stays in. I'm gonna go for Rapid Spin now because my opponent did go for Layer Spikes. That's actually my only attacking move. This Komala is more like a supporter, honestly. He does go in for the Skull, but like I said, I do have Comatose. I'm not getting a burn, and those Skull is like pathetic. Like absolutely pathetic. It did like 10%. If I could get a burn, then yeah, that's a completely different story, but I cannot. And not to mention, he is using Recover as well too, so if he wants to stay in and waste all of his PP on Recover, then so be it. I mean, of course, at the same time, I will also use some PP on my Wish. Not that it really matters that much though, because this Toxapex is actually losing more health over time, thanks to the poison, than my, Komala. Let's go for Rapid Spin, just stay in. At this point, I don't see any reason for me to switch out. If I switch out, something might just get burned. The only thing that is immune to burn is, of course, Salazzle and Komala. So I'd rather just stay into my Komala. I could catch my opponent, predict my opponent to go for a Recover, and maybe I can send up my Salazzle and then trap him with Encore, but I really see no point. It's always nice to just have Komala out. This Komala is actually doing quite a good amount of work. But now we are going to see the Clefable. I just went for Toxic in case he switches out into anything but Clefable. But of course he switches out into Clefable. And honestly, this Clefable isn't like impossible to, overcome. I do have my Salazzle, and I also do have my Mimikyu that can set up some Swords Dances. So that is just okay. We both have leftovers, and like I said, I just want to go for Protect, just to kind of stall him, his PP. And I'm going to go for Wish, and I probably want to send out something next turn, and I just want to see what he'll do. He does go for a Psychic now, predicting the Salazzle, but that's just not happening. I'm not going to carelessly send out my Salazzle to eat up a Psychic, like no way. It's better off that I play much safer. So we got to see 4 moves on my opponent's Clefable, right? He has Wish, Thunder Wave, Moonblast, and Psychic. Now I'm gonna go to Mamoswine now, expecting a Wish. Actually really thought he would go for a Wish, or maybe even a T-Wave. I honestly thought he might just go for a T-Wave on my Komala, simply because maybe my opponent really didn't know, you know? Because he kept on going Scalds on my Komala, so I just assumed that he might as well just go for a T-Wave on my Komala as well. But more importantly, I actually just want to sack off my Mamoswine here, so that I can freshly bring in my Mimikyu. If I send out my Mimikyu now, my Mimikyu would like lose his disguise to a Moonblast or something. So I want my Mimikyu to be brought into the battlefield fresh, so that my Mimikyu is safe behind his disguise, and then he can have a few turns to go for a Swords Dance. And I'm just waiting, like, I'm seriously, like, just begging my opponent just kill me, like, please just kill me. Yes, my opponent could, like, predict I go for the EQ here and switch into his Vikavolt. But, like, just come on, just kill me. It's a stab Moonblast. I'm not invested in special defense. It'll take me to 6 HP, and with Burn, that will finally finish off Mamoswine. Like, oh god, thank god. Like, Mamoswine already set up Stealth Rocks. Like, Mamoswine needs to die. Mamoswine does die. Goodbye, Wooly. And now I can bring in my Mimikyu. Yes, my opponent can go for Thunder Wave, but honestly, I don't really care. At this point, like, I'm just gonna set up and just wreck shit. I'm gonna go for my first Swords Dance. I'm at +2 attack now, and that actually is very frightening because I'm also carrying the Life Orb. He does go for a T-Wave. I'm like, alright, fine. With the Life Orb and Swords Dance, I can do around like 80% to this Clefable. So I figured, let's just go for another Swords Dance. I actually outspeed this Clefable despite being paralyzed, so I'm like, okay, that's a really good sign. First of all, that's a really good sign. I do hit myself in Paralysis. I get that Parahax first turn, but at least I still have Decoy. But that's okay, you know what? I was like, okay, next turn I'll just go for another Swords Dance. No big deal. But I get paralyzed again. So my opponent goes for the Moonblast, but I'm just like, well, it just does around like 40%. It's not too bad. I can actually live another one. Actually, yeah, so I was like, oh, let's just go for another Swords Dance, but I get paralyzed the 3rd time in a row, and now my opponent just goes for a Wish. Again, from this range I can only do 80%, right? So I think, alright, finally I can go for a Swords Dance now. Now I'm at +4 attack. My next attack, even a Shadow Claw, can OHKO it, can one-hit KO it. So he does go for a Moonblast, but like I said, I can live it, and my next attack I can actually outspeed him and finish him off. He actually withdraws here, so instead of going for Play Rough, I actually went for the Shadow Claw, expecting the Toxapex to come out, which is fantastic because thanks to Stealth Rocks, I'm actually able to finish him off. But I get paralyzed for the 4th turn. So I'm like, alright, fine, I still can outspeed this Toxapex. I really still can. And with poison damage, I'm definitely gonna do around 90% with Shadow Claw. But I get paralyzed for the 5th time. So, yeah, Mimikyu, this trash, this bullshit Mimikyu, like, I swear to god, I was just about to release my Mimikyu after this battle. Maybe I should have recorded myself live during this battle. That would have been kind of funny to watch, but I did not expect my Mimikyu to be this incompetent. And honestly, with my Mimikyu gone, I really have nothing left for that Clefable. Nothing. Like, at least my Mimikyu could have maybe finished off either the Clefable or the Toxapex. Mimikyu did go for a Swords Dance 2 times after all, with a Life Orb. That'll one-shot the Clefable so easily, but because Mimikyu had to paralyze, you know, for 5 turns, that's very unfortunate. Anyway, though, I'm gonna go Salazzle, expecting my opponent to go for the Wish, so I can encore it. I figured if a paralyzed Mimikyu can outspeed a Clefable, then so can a paralyzed Salazzle. But my opponent didn't go for the Wish. I really thought my opponent go for a Wish, but I guess not. He just went for the Moonblast instead. So I think, okay, maybe she'll go for a Wish here. So I just started setting up right here. But as you guys can see, my opponent does not go for it. No wishes whatsoever. I mean, I don't blame him. Like, after seeing how pathetic my Mimikyu was, I'm pretty sure this Clefable is so confident. So there's really no point for my opponent to go for a Wish anymore. And because of that, that just really sucks. Like, I've just lost everything that can potentially kill this Clefable. I have nothing left that can kill this Clefable, so that will wrap up the battle here. And honestly, this was still a really fun match, and I'm very thankful for Jay to challenge me. So we have learned something new, guys. We have learned something new. Sometimes, even paralysis can really fuck you over. Anyways, that was a great battle. Thank you, Jay, so much. Please remember to answer the comment question today. What is your favorite status? And I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.